should have fucking invested in Facebook. What was wrong with me? I was like 24, you know? Should have bought Apple. Remember when Apple was like 60? Yeah. You know, didn't buy Apple, right? Brett, who's my cameraman, I've known since I was 7. Brett, why didn't we buy a loft in Soho in 1984 when they were like $70,000, right? How about like the Upper West Side? You know, I lived on the Upper West Side in the early 90s. It's like a friend of mine wanted to sell me a brownstone for like under $1 million. She said, it's a good investment. I think to myself, that's a lot of money. You know? Yeah. It's like, why didn't I go out with this girl Karen when I was 23? I remember I was in Fire Island. Yeah. And I remember, like, you know, that was during my horn dog stages of my life. And this girl Karen was gorgeous. She wanted to have a relationship, and she was really beautiful, but no, I was bigger, better deal. Grass is always on the other, grass is always greener. And I remember, like, the following summer, I'm in Fire Island hanging out with my friends, and this gorgeous woman's walking towards me and says, David, right? And all my friends look at me and they go, oh shit, another one that you know. Yeah. It's like, how did you fuck this one up, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden she comes to me and I look at her and I give her a big hug and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, why didn't I go out with her? She's beautiful, you know? Yeah. And then all of a sudden I hear a male voice going, Karen? And, oh, this is my boyfriend last 6 months. Hindsight. Yeah. So many people spend so much time in hindsight. If I only did this, my relationship would still be going, right? Yeah, yeah. You know, and you know, if I only told her I loved her, you know, when she said she loved me, we'd still be together. If I only took that job, if I only made a left-hand turn that day or a right-hand turn. Here's the deal, hindsight is the biggest waste of time in the world. It's like you live then in what I call the shoulda, woulda, coulda zone of life, right? Yeah. Where if you're dealing with hindsight, and let me tell you something, life is a series of fuck-ups. Get used to it. You're going to fuck up on a regular basis. Get used to it. But learn from your fuck-ups so you don't repeat your fuck-ups. There's going to be women, no matter what age you're at and you're watching this, there's going to be women that you want to date and you don't play it right, and then all of a sudden you see them a year later and you bang yourself against the head and go, man, I should have had her as my girlfriend. Yeah. You know, there's going to be these instances in life where you drive down the street and you see a for sale sign and that house that was such a dump, someone fixed it up and made, you know, $500,000 on it. Life is just a series of hindsight. And what happens is once you accept that hindsight, you realize that you're only human. You're going to fuck up. Yeah. You know, every day you're going to fuck up. You're going to do something you know, right? You're going to do something that's kind of, that's not within the realm of who you are. It's a learning lesson. Yeah. So when you do this, it's like write down. It's like when you screw up or don't do something. And this is what we call in life and intuition is learning how to trust your gut instinct. Yeah. You know, like trust it. Start writing down the things that you should have done and then follow it and see what happens and then start acting on the things you should have done and watch how your life changes. You'll make this like paradigm leap into like living like a more authentic real life but trusting your gut. And it goes down to just the simplest things in life. When you see a woman that's standing there in line at Starbucks and you know she's got pigtails and you think to yourself, God, I remember dipping a girl's pigtails in ink when I was a kid with the ink pen. And you think to yourself, I could have said that. That's hindsight. Start acting on your gut instinct because when we were little kids, and Louis C.K. says it the best, right? You know, you got to Google Louis C.K. Louis C.K. assholes. Google that, and it's really one of the funniest things. Louis C.K. talks about kids and how they act, and kids are the biggest assholes in the world. Yeah. And he talks about his 3-year-old kid holding them up one day because he wouldn't put his sneakers on. Only an asshole would do that. And he goes through this whole like analogy. Put your sneakers on. No! And he throws himself down on the ground. Come on, put your sneakers on. We're all waiting for you. No! I don't want to put your sneakers on. I don't like you. Right? And like, he goes through this whole analogy of like, who would say that? Only an asshole would say stuff like that, right? But kids are all on instincts. At that moment, that kid did not feel like putting on the sneakers. Its instinct said, I am not putting on my sneakers. So get back to those instincts and start acting. But don't be an asshole. Don't throw yourself on the ground at Starbucks and go, no, I'm not leaving here unless you give me your phone number. So work on that, and you won't live your life in hindsight anymore. You'll live your life more in the moment. Catch you soon.